And I am your instructor for THE 1000 N1 Intro to Theater Online. This introductory video is designed to, well, introduce you to the course and to acquaint you with the syllabus and everything that you can expect this semester from the course and also from me as your instructor. So why don't we get right into the syllabus and I'll walk you through it. And if you have any questions about any of this at all, please feel free to contact me at my email. As you can see here, it's W.Conte at caspercollege.edu. My office phone is 268-3117. And my office hours are live and in person on Monday, Wednesday, Friday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in KT 106. And on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. I will be available online for virtual chat, virtual office hours. And you'll see that in a moment as I walk you through the syllabus and then also through the Moodle shell. Okay, so this course is designed to stimulate an interest in and appreciation of the role of the theater in the modern world, including a survey of major theatrical periods from the Golden Age of Greece into the 20th century, a study of the effective evaluation of theatrical performance and the modern business of theater. This course is interesting, I think, to people who have an interest in history or literature, because the theater, of course, is a literary form, but expressed through many other media, such as painting and sculpture and music and movement and lighting. All of these different art forms converge in the theater. If you're a student of history, you will find that the theater reflects everything that's going on in a given society at that particular time and place. And so in our course, we do look a lot at the historical and social context in which these plays emerged. And we try to read them and understand them from the point of view of the people that created these plays. We look at the style in which the plays were performed, and all of this gives us a sense of what was going on in that particular place at that particular time. My goal for this class is to familiarize you with some of the most important dramatic texts in Western European canon, and we will understand why these plays matter from a literary, historical, and personal perspective. My hope is that you will understand how dramatic literature and theatrical performance styles reflect the culture, politics, beliefs, and the technology of the society in which the plays were produced. Students will also gain insight into the process involved in bringing plays from the page to the stage as we examine the dramatic text as a blueprint for performance events. We can regard the play script as a literary work in itself, and often dramatic literature is studied solely for its literary values, its plots, its character development, setting, things like that. However, in the theater, we regard the script as one piece of a very large puzzle. The script is our basis, it's our blueprint, it's our foundation, but we don't regard the script as solely what is necessary for the art of the theater. We need sets and lighting and costumes and props and, of course, the actor, and the script is basically our instruction manual for how we bring about that to the stage, all of that to the stage. And we'll be talking about how this was done in ancient times and in the Renaissance and through the 19th century and the 20th century, how plays were produced in addition to the ideas that were expressed in those plays and why they were important to the people of those times. So at the end of the day, you should be able to solve problems and think critically and creatively about the theater, and you should have a good broad knowledge of theater history and theater literature. And I hope that also the course will give you an appreciation of what it takes to put on plays and how powerful the art of the theater can be. This basically summarizes what I've said, so you can read that for yourself and go over it. I'm going to skip to the evaluation criteria, which I know is very important to all of you. So at the beginning of each week, a PowerPoint lecture providing the background for the play will be available at the Moodle site. One of the lovely things about this course is that there are no books to buy, and everything that you need is available on the Moodle shell. See, I got a ding to confirm how wonderful it is that you have no books to buy. You should watch the lecture and read the corresponding play at the beginning of the week. On Tuesday of each week, I post questions on the discussion forum about the plays. And I expect that the students will respond to the question that I have posted. And then I will respond to your response with usually a remark of my own or a follow-up question. And all students are expected to respond to my comments and to each other's comments at least twice a week. And you get 5 points per post. We'll look at the criteria in a moment for the grade. Now, on Friday of each week, there will be a quiz posted on the lecture material and on the play. So if you have looked at the lecture and studied the lecture and read the play, or looked at the video that I provide of performances of the plays, you should be okay. On Tuesdays and Thursdays, there will be the opportunity for live chat with me from 9 to 11, but if this time isn't good for you, please let me know and I can make an appointment with you at your convenience. I have evening hours that I can be available, I have afternoon hours, and I know how busy online students are with their families and their jobs, and so I try to be as flexible and as accommodating as I can possibly be. Just please communicate with me, let me know what your needs are, and I will do my very best to help you. Let's see, so you can make an appointment to chat live, as I said here. Okay, and then at midterm and finals, the students will submit an essay based on prompts that I provide. And I also expect and require that students attend and write about at least one theatrical production that they see either at the college or somewhere in town or in their communities, wherever that happens to be. So here's how it breaks down. There will be 14 quizzes worth 15 points each for a total of 210 points. And the quizzes are usually, like I said, out of 15, so you see that there. Discussion forum participation, you can get a total of 150 points. So 14 weeks of discussion, 2 posts per week, 5 points per post, equals 150. And these are really easy points. If students sometimes miss posting or responding to my follow-up questions, and ultimately they leave a lot of points on the table, and it's really a shame because it's really an easy 150 points. You respond to my question, I respond to your response, you respond to my response to your response, or to other things that people are saying in the discussion, and that's usually good for 5 points. I ask that the responses to the posts be substantive, meaning that they should be about paragraph length. Most of the time the questions can be answered in 5 sentences or more, but the questions are designed to get you to think, to reference the historical as well as the literary material that we're studying. And so what you're showing me in these discussions, which are a very important part of the course, that you are engaged with the material and that you are responding to it in some way. Also, if you have any questions or are confused about anything that you're reading or hearing in the lectures, then by all means you can raise that in the discussion, and either I or somebody else will respond. I mean, I always will respond, but often other students in the class have their own take on the on your question, and it's often helpful to you to get all of that out there, and sometimes your question is similar to one that someone else has, so please don't be afraid to ask. There's this live chat participation that I've described when I'm online on Tuesdays and Thursdays from 9 to 11, but also this could be done by appointment. You get 5 points whenever you log in to meet me, and that's worth a total of 20 points. And I ask that all students in this course meet with me at least 4 times in real time. You can also come to my office on Monday, Wednesday, Friday during my office hours, or by appointment if you'd like to meet me face-to-face in real time. That's always an option if you find yourself you're on campus and would like to pop by and chat with me, and that would count for one of these sessions. So keep that in mind. That's always an option. Your attendance at a performance and a response paper to that performance is worth 20 points. And you can fulfill that requirement at any time. And there are many opportunities between now and the end of the semester for you to get to the theater and see what's going on. And then we have the midterm and the final, which are essays. And you have your choice of a number of projects that you can approach for midterm and final, and those are worth 100 points each. And all of that totals to 600 points for the entire course. And as I said, a lot of these points are really easy to pick up. The live chat, the attendance at the performance, all of these things are ways to get some quick and easy points. In my experience, unfortunately, some students have blown off these aspects of the course, and it's affected their grades. So please do your best to fulfill these aspects of the assignment of the course, and you'll do fine. As I said, when it comes to required texts, all of your course materials are available through the Moodle shell. So keep that in mind. You don't have to buy any books. The last day to change to an audit status or to withdraw with a W is November 9th. This part about being expected to arrive on time and prepared for class and completing the readings and all of that is an artifact of the live version of this class that I do. But I do ask that you do your best to fulfill the quizzes, and they will be available to you. Like I said, on Friday they'll go up, but they'll be available all weekend. I usually post the quizzes on Friday morning, and they remain open until midnight on Sunday. So you have the whole weekend to get through the quiz. We talk about if you need to miss something, or if you have a family emergency or something like that, let me know. If there's a problem and you can't take a quiz, or you're having problems fulfilling an assignment of some kind, I can be flexible and reopen the quiz for you and help you out if you're struggling. It says here, without presenting evidence of a medical or family emergency, blah, blah, blah. I'll take your word for it. I expect that people will be honest with me. So if there is a problem of any kind, just tell me and I will help you. And we'll make arrangements to get you through. My job is to teach you and to help you. I'm not trying to punish people. I don't want to create a punitive environment. I just want students to learn at their own pace and do the best that they can in my courses. And as I said, if you're having any difficulty, and I know that many of you are parents and work jobs and stuff comes up, so just let me know. Don't fall off the radar. Don't just disappear from sight. Stay in touch with me and let me know what I can do to help you. Cheating online is kind of easy to do. I object to students copying and pasting ideas from Wikipedia or SparkNotes. In the past, I've had to admonish students not to cut and paste from SparkNotes or CliffNotes or Wikipedia into the discussion forum, for example. Or if you do, at least acknowledge your source and explain why you're using these outside sources in responses to my question. In the essays that you will provide at the midterm and during the final period, I expect that the work will be documented according to the MLA format, that you will avoid plagiarism, that you will properly cite your sources, provide a bibliography, and all of that. And we'll go over all of it when the time comes. But I do have a good sense of when students are plagiarizing, and papers are run through a program called Turnitin, which will indicate the level of originality, and also it detects plagiarism. So please be advised that it's just always better to do your own work and to speak in your own voice and to cite your sources properly. That's not to say that you can't go to other sources for ideas and for information. You just have to say where you got these ideas from. And if you're using somebody else's idea or somebody else's words or their language, you are obliged to give credit where it is due. So please be scrupulous about that. Please be honest, and you will benefit tremendously from having done the right thing. You have rights and responsibilities, and all of those are laid out in the Casper College Student Conduct and Judicial Code. There is a chain of command policy. If you have problems with this class or any of your classes, you should really talk to the instructor first and see if you can work out whatever it happens to be. And if you're not satisfied with that solution, you go to the department chair and then up the chain to the dean and finally to the vice president for academic affairs. I've kind of summarized all this stuff about academic code violations and plagiarism and cheating and all of that. Online plagiarism and cheating takes the form of having other people take quizzes for you, having other people write papers for you, having other people post forum responses for you. There's lots of ways to get around it. I am not going, I certainly can't know if somebody is taking the quiz for you. I think there are ways that I could set it up so that I can actually watch you take the quiz. I'm not particularly into that. I would just prefer that you be honest and you do your own work because honesty is its own reward, as is cheating. So, like I said, you know, if your boyfriend or husband or girlfriend is or wife are gonna take the quizzes for you, I probably am not going to figure that out. But again, you won't learn anything, and it's better for you just to do your own work and to do the right thing. You have a Casper College email account, and the institution and all of your instructors will be communicating with you through that Casper College email account, so please keep an eye on it and monitor it, check it at least once a day. There are ways to have Casper College email forwarded to your Gmail account or your Charter account or whatever account you happen to have. So if that's what you need to do to stay on top of your Casper College email and communications from me and your other instructors, then please do that. The discussion forum responses of all students are emailed to everybody when they are posted. So you can configure it to receive immediate updates or no updates at all, and I just check the discussion forum when you go online to Google. You can set this up any way you want to. If you have any questions about handling the Moodle shell and how to operate the different blocks and setting it up to suit you, just let me know or contact somebody at Digital Learning and we can help you get rolling with that. So we just did that. ADA, if you have any kind of, or need for any kind of an academic accommodation because of a disability, please inform me as soon as possible. Sometimes students need extra time for quizzes. Generally, the way the quizzes work is that you have 20 minutes to answer the 15 questions, which are multiple choice, and you don't get to go back because on a question. So once you passed on a question, that's it. You have to answer the question as it's in front of you. Once you've moved on, there's no going back. It's just a way to keep people honest and make sure that people are studying and listening to the lectures and reading the plays. Now, of course, if you print out a copy of the lecture, which I make available online, I make the PowerPoint presentations available through the Moodle shell, and I also make the plays available through the Moodle shell. There really isn't anything to prevent you from referring to those notes during the quizzes or to referring to the text of the plays during the quizzes. And that's fine as far as I'm concerned, but as long as you can do it in 20 minutes. You won't have, it won't benefit you to have the lecture notes in front of you, the whole PowerPoint presentation in front of you, if you haven't listened to the lecture in the first place. You'll run out of time and won't be able to answer the questions in time. So a good strategy for you would be just to check out the lecture at the beginning of the week, take notes, download the PowerPoint presentation for your own reference, look them over, read the plays, watch performances of the plays if that's better for you, and you'll do fine on the quizzes. But if 20 minutes isn't enough, or you need some other kind of accommodation because of a learning disability or what have you, let me know, and I can make special arrangements for you. Harassment and discrimination. Casper College seeks to provide an environment that is free of bias, discrimination, harassment. If you have been the victim of sexual harassment, gender or sex discrimination, sexual misconduct, or assault, we encourage you to report this. And then this explains the mechanism by which you can report your grievances. As this applies to our course, I expect that people will be civil with each other during online discussion, and in any other instances where we will encounter each other, just be nice. Use common sense, and everything will be fine. So now let's look at the course schedule. So week 1 is August 28th, and you can see the way it's laid out here. I tell you what to expect and what's on board for that week, and what topics we're covering. It's all pretty clear. It's all very straightforward. You'll see here that our midterm week is a little bit earlier this year. It happens on the week of October 9th, and around week 4, I'll be sending out the information on the midterm, so you can wrap your heads around that, start thinking about it, and get busy handing that in for in time for the midterm. The final papers will be due in the week of December 11th, and it's like I said, it's fairly straightforward. It's just lecture. Here's the topic. Here's the play that you're looking at, or reading or watching, and then the quiz number that this corresponds to. And as I said, the quizzes will go up on Friday morning, usually around 8 a.m., and you'll have the whole weekend to get it done. All right? All right. Let's have a look at the Moodle shell. And what you're seeing here on my screen is a production that I just did at the Stage 3 Community Theater of the Prometheus legend. And it was pretty cool because we timed it so that when Prometheus stole fire from the sun, it coincided with the total solar eclipse. We thought that that was pretty cool. And we're very proud of that work. Stage 3 Community Theater does a lot of great plays and provides opportunities for you to go to the theater and fulfill the performance requirement of the class, or the performance response requirement of the class. And we also have some great shows running at Casper College as well for you to see this semester. You could also go to the high school theaters to see what they're doing. You could go, if you don't live in Casper, you can go to a community theater production in your town. You can go to a high school theater production in your town. You can even drive down to Denver to the Buell Center and see a professional production. That's fine too. So let me show you the Moodle shell. Where is the Moodle shell? Here it is. Okay, so there, I'm kind of back again. There I am. Okay. This is what it looks like. You'll be able to download the syllabus from here. Any news that I have for the class will go out through the news forum. This is the discussion forum where the questions are posted. Note where you will find these things. To get into the chat, all you need to do is just hit this link, and you'll see that this window comes up. You'll see click here to enter chat now, and you'll type in whatever you want to say. Hello, welcome to the class, and then you send it, and when you log in, I see you over here in this sidebar. So that's how that works. And as I said, I'll be in that space every Tuesday and Thursday from 9 to 11. The lecture that you're listening to, here's the link to it, and then after I'm done with the lecture and posting it, I'm going to put the syllabus up so that you can download the syllabus. And if you lose it, you can always come back to the Moodle shell and download another copy. So we begin with ancient Greece. You'll see here, here's the link to the lecture on the Greek theater. It's a PowerPoint presentation narrated by me, and I'll give you a quick preview of what that looks like. Just hit the link, and bada bing, here comes the YouTube lecture. And
hello, and welcome to week 2 of our semester, the theater of ancient.
It's really not week 2. Things have changed in this course. I've been teaching it a number of years. I just never bothered to change the narration because it really wasn't necessary to do it. But don't be thrown by whatever week we happen to be. As long as you're watching the lecture as is indicated on the syllabus, you'll be fine. But that's how that rolls out, and you can make it larger if you want to. Watch it as many times as you want. And as you'll see, the PowerPoint lecture is right there. So you can just download, hit this link, and you'll be able to download the lecture. As much as possible, as I said, I try to provide videos of performances of the plays that we're watching. Videos of performances of plays are different from films that are adapted from plays. I would prefer that students watch videos that were made of actual theatrical productions as opposed to films, because you get a sense of the theater in these things, and you get a sense of what it was like to experience it as a play. And I think that when the performances are good and when the video is good, it's fine. It's better than reading the play in some ways, because you're able to visualize it. You're able to see how the play was imagined by the actors and the director, what it looked like on the stage, how an audience experienced it. So, for example, the first one we're going to be watching is that's available is the version of Oedipus Rex, Oedipus the King, which was directed by Tyrone Guthrie, and it was filmed in 1957 in an attempt to reproduce Greek performance practices. And again, all you got to do is hit the link, and this video is unavailable. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm glad that happened, because it does sometimes happen that YouTube takes down videos, and I have to go through I usually go through the links every semester to make sure that they're still fresh. But sometimes in the course of a semester, links go dead. And if that is happening or has happened, just let me know, and I will repost a link to a performance for you. The script itself is available through Project Gutenberg. If you want to download it, just hit this link here. It'll take you directly to the site, and you can download the text of the play to read it if you want. If you prefer iBooks, here's the iBooks link. Also, the Moodle shell and the modules in the Moodle shell contain a lot of supplementary material. And for example, I provide a folder full of examples of what ancient Greek music may have sounded like. The ancient Greek theater was essentially a musical theater in which the actors performed to musical accompaniments. And these supplementary materials are provided to give you, again, an enhanced experience of the topic, and also to give you something to write about. You can base your midterm or final project on these supplementary materials that I'm providing. And so, for example, you might want to do a study of, or a paper on the music of the ancient Greeks, if that is something that particularly interests you, and you would have these resources to draw from. Here's the link to the quiz. You just hit the link, and what I did at the end of the semester was I was feeling particularly charitable, and what I do at the end of the semester is I reopen all of the quizzes for students that may have crashed and burned. You will get only one attempt during the semester, but at the end of the semester, I implement a general amnesty and open up all of the quizzes a second time so that you can have another throw at them if you really crashed and burned. So there is that option, but you'll see you won't be able to take the quiz until it's opened officially, and as I said, that will happen on Friday morning, and it will close at 11:59 on the Sunday of that weekend. After ancient Greece, we go to the Middle Ages. Again, very predictable. Here's the lecture. Here's the performance. What happens if we click this? Oh, good. Okay, so that's still there. This contains an example of Gregorian chant, which was the soundtrack of the Middle Ages. So the greatest hits of the year 1000 can be found here. And the lecture notes, the quiz, etc. So you can see that it's fairly predictable. Every module contains the same things. The lecture on YouTube, a link to the performance, the script, iBooks if you want it, and supplementary material, as well as the notes and the quizzes. We go to France of the 16th and 17th century, French neoclassical theater after that. We look at melodrama. We read the play Uncle Tom's Cabin. We go to naturalism and realism in the 19th century, which was a byproduct of the industrial age. We look at reactions against realism in the 20th century, political theater of the early 20th century, and 2 weeks are spent on the theater of America in the mid-20th century. There is only one lecture on this, but it's a 2-week module, so in the second week, it's all contained in here. So in the first week, we do Death of a Salesman, and in the second week, we do, of this module, we do Cat on a Hot Tin Roof. And you can see that there are 2 quizzes under this module, and they are opened in successive weeks. We look at theater of the absurd, which is maddening and fun. We look at African American theater of the 1960s, experimental theater, and finally we up the Pacific and we look at some Japanese theater as well. So that's the course, and that's what it looks like. And I look forward to working with you, and of course, as I've mentioned, and will remind you, I am here to help you. I need to know how I can help you, so please communicate with me. And if you have any questions or concerns or issues whatsoever, let me know as soon as possible. I wish you all the best for this semester. I hope to be able to meet some of you in person. I expect to meet all of you online at some point. And once again, all the best for a great semester. Thank you for your time and attention, and I'll see you next time.